Be the change you want to see in the world, and we are here to make the change happen. With these lines of Mahatma Gandhi, I welcome you all to our channel Graduate Yourself, where we revolutionize the education. Hello guys, I am Devansh. I hope you all are enjoying your studies. A brief intro of mine: I belong to Prayagraj and pursuing my graduation from CMP PG College, University of Allahabad. Well, today I am here with the second part of the series Population Geography. In my last video, that is the first part, I've covered population structure and composition of India. You will get the links in description, so you can watch it over there. And in this second part, I'll be dealing with the topic factors influencing the distribution of population in world. Both parts of video can be watched separately as they are not interconnected, but I will suggest you to also watch the first part as over there I have elaborated the basics of population geography. Now, I prepared this content point wise from the answer writing point of view, as points are easy to remember and express, so you can also note down them. As far as the sources are concerned, it has been incorporated from Human Geography by Majid Hussain sir and Geography of Population by R.C. Chandna sir. So again, these are very good books, so you can read them. So what is the note given over here? It is a very basic and important topic for students of geography, especially for the first and third year. 1 to 2 units are certain to come in exams dedicated to this section. Yes, again, this is very important topic, so be focused. So guys, let's get started without wasting any more time. Now be focused. Here we go. Factors influencing the distribution of population in the world. Okay, so we need to know what are the factors which influence the distribution of the population in the world, as we are aware of the fact that population in the world is not evenly distributed. Somewhere it is dense and somewhere it's very less. So we need to find out what are the factors responsible for it. Sorry. The spatial spread of population in the world is not ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means something which is even or uniform. So the spatial spread of population in the world is not uniform, it is not even. There are wide regional contrast in the degree of concentration of population, giving highly variable densities to different parts of the world. Yes, the population in this world is not uniform, it is rather at variable densities found at different parts of the world. Now, these regional contrasts in the population distribution and density are governed by a variety of factors. There are several factors which is responsible for such a contrast in the population distribution. That is something which we are about to study. Now, all the factors affecting the population distribution and density may broadly be classified into the three major categories, that is physical, social, cultural and demographic factors. So these are the three factors, that is the physical, socio-cultural and demographic factors which majorly govern the distribution of population in the entire world. So let's know each of them, starting with the physical factors. The very first physical factor is the climate. Yes, we all know what is the climate. So climate is the average weather condition of any area for a very long period of time. Then that can be referred as something which is climate. So climate influences the spatial distribution of population through temperature conditions, amount of precipitation and length of growing season. It has for long been recognized that man cannot go beyond the limits set by the climate. So here the climate is playing a very major role influencing the spatial distribution of the population. Now, Trivatha considered the cold deserts, the hot deserts and the tropics as the chief non-humid areas, primarily due to the climatic hazards being faced by these lands. Okay, so what the Trivartha is saying over here, he is saying that he considered the cold deserts and hot deserts something as an area which cannot support the human population, because the climate over there are very extreme. For example, we cannot survive in very cold areas, we cannot survive in very hot areas. We need some favorable conditions for supporting the human life. So that is what Trivartha has said in these. So the humid tropics are, on the other hand, characterized by the abundance of both solar energy and precipitation. So, on the other hand, if we talk about the tropics, that is the area between the tropics, it is characterized by the abundance of solar energy. It is receiving the proper amount of solar insolation and precipitation, that is the rainfall. So, the vegetation over there will be very good. The hot and humid climate of the tropics is considered enervating and repulsive for the human settlement. In fact, these regions face several such problems like the dense vegetation, leached soils, intensive soil erosion, all of which repel settlement. So again, now let me explain you that Trivartha clearly said that the humid tropics are considered as the favorable for the human settlements because it is receiving the good amount of solar energy and precipitation. So life is very much possible over there over such conditions. Where on the other hands, the hot and humid climate of tropics is considered enervating. Enervating means something which is, weakening, or the changing of energy. This is known as enervating. And repulsive for human settlements. The humid tropics are not favorable for the human settlements. In fact, these regions face several problems. There are several problems associated with these regions. Now, what are these problems? These are the dense vegetation over there, leached soils, intensive soil erosion. So these are the factors which actually repel the human settlement. Coming to the second physical factors, that is the landforms. Now we need to know how landforms govern the population distribution. So the landforms influence the distribution pattern of population both at macro and micro scales. Okay, that both major and minor scales. Again, the factors like altitude, slope, drainage, subsoil, water table have been affecting population distribution more clearly at local level. So some factors of the landform such as the altitude means height, the slope, drainage, drainage means again the presence of the rivers, subsoil, subsoil, water table have been affecting population distribution clearly at the local level. The areas characterized by the difficult terrain have a conspicuously sparse population. Now you must be wondering what is the meaning of conspicuously. So conspicuously means the in a manner to attract attention, means something which is attracting. So what is said over here that the areas characterized by the difficult terrain, the which is having a difficult topography, that have conspicuously sparse population, means a very fewer population. Ever since the earliest civilization, valleys have been the chief attraction, while the slopes and hilltops have scripturally been avoided. Okay, so we all know that the valleys have been the chief attraction of the population. As we have seen this, you can take several examples such as the valley Jammu and Kashmir, etc. So they are densely populated areas, whereas the hilltops and slopes, they are not favorable for building the human settlements. So they have been avoided. Now, scrupulously means something with extreme carefulness. So that is something I need to mention. Now, moving on, apart from the factor of altitude, the degree of slope is also a crucial determinant of population distribution and concentration, particularly in mountain and hilly terrain. Okay, so apart from the height, apart from the altitude, the degree of slope means the steepness, the extent of slope is also a very important determinant of population distribution and concentration, especially when I'm talking about the mountainous region, the hilly regions. So over there, the slope plays a very important role. You need to note down this. The steepness of a slope delimits the extent of arable land. Yes, the cost of constructing and maintaining the terraces in such areas is also highly prohibitive. Moving on further, besides altitude and slope, the drainage conditions in an area also affect the effectiveness of peopling. Yes, the drainage is something which is very required in order to support the population. Swamps and marshes, which are common in areas suffering from the poor drainage, forbid human settlements. So again, the swamps and marshes are something which repels the human settlements or because of their poor drainage system. Now, moving on to the third physical factors, that is soils. So, we all know that a soil is very important for the human life as well as animals as well as for the plant life. The attractiveness of a region for the human settlement may depend partially upon the quality of the soil. Yes, the soil quality is very important because if the soil is fertile, then definitely we can do a lot of agricultural activities on it. We can grow crops on it for our sustenance. So it becomes the chief attraction of the population density, as we have seen in the case of northern plains in India. Wolfganger (1935) observed that the podzols of the higher middle latitudes and mature laterites. So the podzols and laterites, let me tell you, these are the types of the soils. They refer to the soil types. Okay, moving on. The Wolfganger observed that the podzols of the higher middle latitudes and mature laterites of the tropics, which generally impede intensive cultivation, discourage effective settlement. On the contrary, the lava soils of the volcanic regions, the deep alluvium deposits of the river basins, and the grassland soils of the middle and subtropical latitudes have immense capacity for supporting a large population. So, again, we know that the lava soils, the volcanic regions, alluvium deposits, and the soils around the river basins, these are very fertile soil, and that's why they're the chief attraction of the high density of the population. Moving on. Even today, about half the world's population derives its livelihood from agricultural sector. Yes, as in the case of India also, a very largest section of the population is employed in the primary sector or is generally associated with the agricultural activities. So that is why the Indo-Gangetic Plain, the coastal deltaic regions of India, the deltaic plains of eastern China, the rich volcanic soils of Japan and Java, Indonesia, continue to support seemingly unbearable high density of population. So, what has been said over here? It has been said that the world's population derives its livelihood, means its food, its clothing and shelter from the agricultural sector. Yes, this is true. That is why the Indo-Gangetic Plain means all the plains around the river, such as the Ganga plains and deltaic plains of the India, of the China, volcanic plains of the Japan, soils of the Japan, Java, Indonesia, they seemingly support unbearable high density of the population. They are the very dense areas. Moving on to the fourth physical factor, that is energy, resources and minerals. So, how come energy, resources and minerals govern the population distribution? Let us know. Energy resources and mineral raw materials have of recent gained an influencing power as far as the population is concerned, thanks to the ever increasing process of diversification of economy in all the regions of the world. Yes, energy resources and minerals are something which is very important because we all need the energy, we all need resources, we all need minerals for the survival. Now, let us know how. Minerals like coal in their prime age have been greatly influenced the pattern of population distribution in countries like the Great Britain, France, Germany, erstwhile I'm sorry, USSR, Poland, USA and Australia. In India, the Chota Nagpur region, that is Jharkhand, due to its richness of minerals, has been fast growing into the region of a heavy industries, a fact which has gone a long way in changing the entire demographic character of the area, etc. Now, former countries like the USSR, Great Britain, France, Germany, Poland, USA, and Australia. Now these have having the very affected by the population distribution by the mineral factors such as the coal. Okay, and in India, the Chota Nagpur region, that is of the Jharkhand, due to its richness of minerals, it has been growing into a secondary sector that is having a heavy industries around it because of the minerals present over there. So this is changing the entire demographic character of the area. It is also affecting the population distribution and demographic of the other states as well. Now, moving to the second factors which influence the population distribution, it is the socio-cultural factors. So, you must be wondering how socio-cultural factors can affect the population distribution. So, let's find out. The advancement in science and technology increases the role of non-physical determinants. Yes, it is not mandatory that only physical factors are having the potential to affect the population distribution. Other factors such as the socio-cultural factors and demographic factors can also influence it to a very large extent. The advancement in science and technology increases the role of non-physical determinants. Yes, as we grow, as we prosper, the science and technology also increases. It is increasing day by day. We have made a lot of scientific as well as technological advancement. So now these factors are also having the potential to affect the population distribution in the world. Among the various cultural factors that have controlling effect upon the population spread, our history of settlement, type of economy, advancement in technology, political decisions, and social organization. Okay, so what has been said over here, it has been told that the cultural factors have a controlling effect upon population. Now, how, as the spread our history of the settlement, type of economy, okay, means what kind of economy you are having, such as it could be, agricultural based economy or production based economy. In technology, advancement in technology, how advanced your technologies are, political decisions, what sort of government you are having, and what decisions are it taking regarding the population, regarding the demography, and social organizations to some extent also. The economic factors, of course, are supreme as nothing can impede the human occupants of an area and its economic incompetence. Yes, it is right that the economic factors is something which is very, very important and largely governing the population distribution, as this is something which is very, very important for the human occupants. The economic viability of an area lies in its carrying capacity and its ability to provide the employment opportunities. This in turn would affect not only the size of population but also its spacing. Yes, various economic activities and the economic viability of an area, it's having the carrying capacity to provide the employment opportunities, etc. factors affect the size of the population. The degree of diversification of economy, yes, how diverse your economy is, and the density of the population have also been found to be positively correlated, mainly because of the fact that the average supporting capacity of an industrial worker works industrial worker works out to be more than that of an agricultural worker. Thus, in industrial societies, not only the size of settlement is large, but also the density of population is conspicuously high when compared with the agrarian societies. Yes, because industries are localized around the cluster, so that's why the population density over there is generally high. because the worker will be living around it and they will be coming to work over there. Many other factors are also governing the population distribution around the industrial area, so which has been not found in the agricultural worker. In agricultural sector, the population distribution is very sparse as compared to the industrial societies. So moving on, the technological advancements do add another dimensions to the controls of population. Yes, the technological advancement is having the potential to control the dimensions of population distribution and density. Technology is both a cause and effect of the emergence of a variety of industries, and hence advancement made in this field may bring a sea change. Sea change is generally used to signify a very large, a very major change in the degree of diversification of an economy of an area. Consequently, it may increase the supporting capacity of such areas and may lead to higher density of population. Similarly, the technological innovations may make a human habitation possible in areas which formerly had been deprived of the human population. So, now let us understand the technological factors to a very large extent govern the population distribution. The more advancement made in this field, the more it can have the potential to alter the population distribution, because it is the reason of the diversification of an economy. It may be also be supporting the capacity of such areas may lead to higher density of population. Similarly, the technological innovation, the various technologies are today over here so that we can also build the human settlements in the areas which has not been possible in the former times. So this is an add-on for us. Now coming to the next point, a variety of the political factors. Yes, the political decisions are something very important governing the population distribution. Let us find out how. A variety of political factors which have affected population distribution and density in different areas at different times include the emergence of the political boundaries, buffer zones. Buffer zone is an area, or a cluster between the two or more areas used for something specifically. It could be for strategic use. So these are the buffer zones. You can better Google out. And public policies with regard to the population movements and trade. Now, the political factors have came into the play. It to a very large extent affect the population distribution and density of an area. How? As the emergence of the political boundaries. Now, yes, there are the political boundaries, interstate and intrastate. Buffer zones, public policies. The public policies regarding, such as in the case of China, you must be remembering the one child norm policy of the China. So this is the public policy regarding the population control. So these are having the potential to affect the population distribution with regard to the population movements and trade. The role of public policies in directing the distributional tendencies among the population has of recent been increasing. In countries like former USSR and present China, where the governments were in position to implement their harsh decision effectively, the political divisions played a decisive role in channelizing. Channelizing means to directing something or giving something a direction, channelizing currents of the migration and in generating redistributional tendencies within their own territories. Yes, a lot of political factors, public policies by the various governments, by the very stringent governments in the former USSR, present China, they have implemented their harsh decision regarding the population polity and the political division it played. Now this changed the entire scenario of the population distribution around these areas. So till here we have completed with the socio-cultural factors. Now we will see how the demographic factors are having the potential to alter the population distribution in the world. So okay guys, the demography is the study of the population. So now start. The changes in the distribution and density of the population in the world take place through the variations in the rate of natural increase and also through the medium of migration between the areas. Thus, the demographic factors play a vital role in influencing the population distribution. The demographic factors of the vital rates and the migration introduce another dimension of the inventory of determinants of the population distribution and density. Yes, so the demography means the population study. Okay, so the changes in the population distribution, yes, and density of the population world, it takes place through the several process, and there's a variation in the rate of natural increase and also to the medium of the migration, as we have discussed in our last lecture, where the birth rate, death rate, infant mortality rate, sex ratio, etc. stuffs were having the potential to alter the demography of an area. So same is given over here also. There are wide regional variations in the patterns of fertility, mortality, and mobility. Yes, mobility means migration. So, as there are variations in the patterns in the fertility, mortality, and mobility between the two areas, which gives rise to the regional differences in the magnitude of the pressure being exerted by the population. Since the world under the normal political situations is divided into the fixed territorial political units, and most of the countries have enacted their own laws to regulate the population movement across their borders. Therefore, much of the increase of the population through the rate of natural increase has to be absorbed by the country itself. Yes, the several countries are having very stringent population movement laws across the border and across the states. As in the case of the India also, we are having several aspects related to the citizenship and the movement across the border, etc. stuffs, which is having the potential to alter the population distribution in the world. Apart from this, the major physical, socio-cultural, and demographic factors. So, these three we have discussed. Apart from it, the factors affecting the distribution and density of population are some physical and social disasters have also been mentioned as the factors temporarily. The physical disasters and social disasters. These are mentioned as the factors temporarily altering the population map of the affected areas. Zelensky 1966, according to him, volcanic eruptions, floods, glacial avalanches, storms, epidemics, fire, severe droughts constitutes the physical disasters, and anthropogenic factors such as the wars, genocides, forced transfers of population, and repatriations constitute the social disaster. Yes, apart from the socio-cultural, physical and demographic factors, the factors which has been mentioned over here, this play a very pivotal role in altering the population density of an area. Now, how? Such as the physical factors such as the disasters, such as the earthquakes, landslides, volcanic eruption, floods, glacial, avalanches, storms, epidemics, fire, severe droughts. Now, so these disasters are generally found in particular areas in the world. So people must not be willing to live over these areas as the survival is not possible over there. And to some extent, anthropogenic causes means the human triggered causes such as the wars, genocides, forced transfer of population. These are the also factors, and the repatriations constitute the social disaster. So these are the social reasons which affect the population density of an area. Okay guys, so till here we have completed with this lecture video. I have explained you each and every factor which have the potential to change, to affect, to alter the population density of an area. So whatever doubt or query you are having, you can let me know in the comment section. Our team will help you out with that. So till then guys, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and You can also motivate us by sharing and supporting to our YouTube channel. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.